Hello, friends. So it is Saturday. Today, I think, is August 1st, 2026. That's nuts. We are already in August. And for me, August is already like the fall. Don't cringe, but really, I'm already thinking about pumpkin spice and all the coolness in the air and all that stuff. So, but anyway, I wanted to do I want to say quick video, but I'm not sure how quick it's going to be because today's video, I want to go over my upcoming shop restock, mostly because of the papers. So, as you all know, I'm still working on the journal. I stopped sharing progress because I finished the cover. I did the ephemera, but I needed to dye papers. Now, because for me, I feel like dyeing papers is a whole thing. I just went into a whole rabbit hole, okay? If I'm gonna dye papers, I make the most of my time and the paper dyeing process, and I end up doing a bunch. Now, it's been a while since I've done a paper restock in my Etsy. I want to say it's been at least a year. And so there were also things that I never actually stocked in my shop that were from that, and that was the pink avocado dye. I ended up using most of those papers in my journals and I gave some away. The small stash that I kept, I've pretty much added to. And then the fabrics I never listed. So whatever is remaining there, I plan, that's that over here. I plan on making some small packs with whatever I can. So I'm going to divide it as much as I can, but there might only be maybe 3 small packs of just like enough pieces that you can probably cover a journal with or do a slow stitch project with. Another thing, if you're seeing right in front of me, this has been like in my mind for the longest time. So if you guys look back at my Amity Bloom journals that I did, I think that's over a year already. I think I did it in 2024, or was that 2025? Anyway, on those journals, I had for the first time added these blooming, I called them like these blooming frames. I don't know what you call it. And then I had the large journal, that large green journal. I also have a video up where I used one of these frames on that cover. And so I have been meaning for the longest time to actually make a few more and offer them in my shop. So I was able this weekend to do, I say this weekend, we are on the weekend. This week, in between dyeing and ironing papers, I was able to fill up like 4 of them. So these are supposed to look like literally roses bursting out of the frame. These can be used as embellishments for journals, like toppers or cards. But they can also be converted into magnets. And I'm thinking that I am going to either attach a magnet to the back of this or keep them in the package where you can kind of glue it or stick it on yourself. So when I first thought about adding the flowers into these little frames, I was thinking, I don't know, I think I've seen them in gardens before where like you have like a piece of a ceramic thing, you know, like those decorative pieces that are in gardens with where they have like flowers just bursting out of it. So that was my inspiration behind these. And so these are I didn't make the frames myself. These frames I purchased, so they're like an antique or vintage gold resin, but these are a much sturdier one. I really like the quality of these. And then these are little resin flowers, and they're supposed to be for nail art, but I use them for this because these particular little roses, I feel like they're so detailed. They are so cute, and I attached these all together with glossy accents. I think they're super cute. They can be used in so many different ways. Right now, I just have on the back of them the glue. You know, when it starts to dry, it does sometimes seep out, but it's on a heavier cardstock, so not much has come out. But I will go ahead and put another. You're not gonna see the back, but I'm still gonna put another cardstock just to cover it up, make it clean it up a little bit, basically. Um, so I have more of these. I have to just fill them up. And I have other shapes. You guys see this one often. I use these. I don't know if I'm going to include these, to be honest, because I use these on my envelopes. I like to put these on the flap. I may or may not fill them. They're super cute. So if I do, it's going to be combined with another shape. I don't know. I have these. This one is a little bit damaged, so I'm keeping this one. But I have more of these as well. Um, so those are the ones that I have. And then, oh, these. I didn't get to fill these up, but these are like basically pre-flowers. So I back them and then I fill them. So there's going to be these rectangular ones as well. And I was thinking about listing them as one in a pack, honestly, to keep the costs, you know, fair. Or let's see if I do a double, it's going to be like a smaller frame combined with a larger one. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have in the works. And where can I put this? I wanted to discuss the papers. Let me put these on the side. They look so pretty. I can't. They look so pretty on this pile of okay. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm gonna be listing individual packs of guest checks that I have dyed. Now I want to discuss my dyeing a little bit. This is my purpose for really sharing this video, and it's that you know, anybody that dyes paper knows your results are varied, okay? Especially when you're using a natural dye such as avocado or black beans. I've been learning. I started recently using black beans. I want to say in 2024 was when I initially started, and it was because I was looking for a particular shade of blue, and I learned that I can get that with the black bean. But then I learned very quickly that the results, depending on the concentration and all of that, like you can get from a purple and then it'll go down. The same dye would go down into like a blue and then into like a greenish color, then into a tan. Like that's how it varies. And I'm even learning that the quality of the bean, believe it or not, because somehow when I use a particular brand of bean, I'm not getting that purple color at all. But when I use one from a different supermarket, I end up getting, I don't know if, hopefully it's a good bean, right? But that's where I get the purples. So anyway, all that to say is that I'm gonna offer up some papers, but they're gonna be kind of mixed shades. And I just want to show a little bit of what that looks like. Also, I do oven dry my papers. I've learned recently that the reason why my shades of my black beans are dying because they are very sensitive to heat and the pH levels. So this is something I'm learning. So I don't know if I'll do black bean often, honestly. But either way, I do like the effects of the paper, and I'll show you that now. And then the avocado also sometimes, well, recently I've been getting a very mild shade of pink, and so it's almost barely there. So what I've been doing, my avocado dye is usually mixed with a red onion skin, and so you'll either get like really bright pinks or you'll get peachy colors, which I absolutely love. I have no problem with that, but I just wanted to explain that. Also, in some of the dye batches that I did, the color was so off that I ended up on some of them adding literally a dot of red food dye to it to make just to bring out the red, and that actually helped me to achieve a little bit more of that avocado dye look because the avocado dye itself on some of the batches were just very pale. I've also added mica spray, a mica shimmer spray to most of my dyes except for the black bean. And in one batch in particular, I used mica powder. That I might list separately because that one is kind of, it's sensitive. Like, well, it doesn't come off. Like, I've rubbed off any excess powder that it had, but it does leave a little bit of a shimmer if you're like actually rubbing it. I don't think you're going to be rubbing it, but you know, anyways, so just wanted to point that out. So the guest checks, I have still several that I have not packed, but they're gonna come packed like this. I am gonna put a topper here, so they're gonna have a little belly band. How stinking cute these little belly bands come out. Okay, they're gonna be embossed, all of them, and they're with 6 different designs. I have 3 other embossing folders, but those came later. So as I collect more and I refill my shop, I'll put more. So you're gonna get my favorite rose. This is the Tim Holtz rose. And you can see just from here alone the different shades. You get like this filigree looking one with butterflies. This floral one. This was my first favorite one. And then this leafy frame, okay? So there's 6 in a pack. And this was just to show you the different shades. Like, you might have the same rose here, but look at how dark it came out here. So it's just, it varies, okay? In addition to that, I haven't yet embossed. The black bean ones were like barely blue. So they have like kind of a tea stain look. So I need to emboss these, okay? So I will have a black beanish, black bean, but not too blue pack as well, or packs, okay? And then, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little stuffy. My husband and daughter have been sick this past week. I've been fighting it. Like, I haven't gotten fully sick, but I'm getting the sniffles now. But I've been taking zinc and vitamin C. That's helped. I'm going to include sets, only a few of what I have. I have these teeny tiny note cards in envelopes. And I've decided to dye them. And this is where I'm talking about. The dyes just came out so different. But I also went around with the gold pen, so it has like a gold trim around the cards. But I do love how they turned out. They were a cream color card, and it came out like this is how I laid them down, I guess. So it actually looks watercolored, and it has a double tone, almost like an ombre effect. So some of them are gonna look like this. And I have only a couple that might be without the lines, a little bit more solid. But for the most part, they look like that. And I have 2 different shades, okay? So this looks more tea-dyed. So I'm going to just maybe call them antiqued. And then this one looks very barely pink, almost peachy. So they're going to be in a pack of 6, 3 of each. And I'm going to include, since when you dye them, obviously the glue pretty much comes off. So I'm going to include 6 of these faux wax seals. So these are gold embossed rose stickers. I think they're so pretty. So there'll be 6 envelopes, 3 of each, and 6 note cards, 6 stickers, and they're going to be packaged somewhat like this. I had to kind of work on my packaging because I don't want it falling like that. I'm picky. And then they'll have some sort of a bag topper, but that's how they're going to come. Okay. Okay, so that's that. I am going to have glassine bags. I don't have very many of the mini ones. Those are only going to be avocado dye. So these are the glassine bags, the little ones. So I probably will offer them maybe in a pack of 5 of the little ones. I'm not sure. I might just go ahead and emboss these and do gold foiling, or I was thinking about embossing and maybe a little bit of stamping. So just like little decorative bags. And then you saw the video where I was adding gold foil to these. I've actually started brushing them. Somebody told me that if you use your finger, like the oils from your finger can cause it to like fade out eventually. So I started immediately using a brush for that. So anyways, I also go in and I distress a little bit with paint. So I think these are my favorites. So these might be, these larger ones are going to be probably in a pack of 3. And I'm still debating if I still have to emboss these. I'm still debating if I'm going to do different embossing folders, different designs. I'm not sure. So this was like one that I think is more fall. So I was thinking of doing maybe a few like this. So you guys tell me, what are your thoughts? Is this something that you're interested in? Because if not, I'm gonna just do the rose. But this is a little bit more fall, given that the ink is kind of like that orangey red, and then with the leafy frame. I think they look cute like that. So it'll be in packs of 3, like I said. Okay. And I want to show how the packaging looks for the larger papers. I didn't seal these yet, but these are the avocado dyed. And these are like not with any other inks. This one is just avocado and onion skin. And so I made these really cute belly bands. How cute is that? So I have a bunch here. I started this morning to cut. I love how these colors look. Oh, goodness. Like these little pastelish colors. Pinks, blues, tans, peachy colors, browns. I mean, oh, I love it. And by the way, I used, if you're interested, I used this punch. And this is I think this is a Martha Stewart punch. Oh, it says EK. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I thought it was a Martha Stewart punch. I don't know. I don't even know where I got it. So, but this is to show you that they're different. And then each pack, I just kind of wanted to share, it's different tones. So you're going to get some that might be a little bit, one that has like a really dark tone. There's a couple of really light ones. So they're going to be mixed, okay? They're all going to have this reusable belly band with an embossed little coin, I guess, circle thing. But I think that those belly bands turned out so cute. And this is just to show you the variety of colors that it could turn out. And it's going to be 15 pages per pack, okay? And then here I'm going to show you just really quickly. Everything is really quickly, and then it's like I'm already on 18 minutes. Crazy. The black bean, I had difficulty this time, so there's very little blue. I want to say that these colors are more like green. There's very, very little blue. This is the most blue that's on there, I'm telling you. But even so, you're also going to see lots of different like patterns of splatter. These are almost like a green, like sea green almost. I think they're so pretty though. I like the markings. These would look great in beach journals, but they are also just, they're just pretty overall. I love these hand-dyed papers in my journals. And if you've seen any of my flip throughs, you know that I do my own paper dyeing. There are times that I don't have the time to do it, and I do often you hear me, purchase from other shops on Etsy. But I do like to do my own dyeing. And then this is also black bean, but look, it just turned into like a tea dye almost. So I think what I'm gonna call this, all the ones that didn't come out blue or pink, they're just gonna go in a mixed variety pack. I think that even these tan ones, they look tea dyed, and they have like little slight, very light shades of like blue, almost gray, almost like gray and tan. They have like a sandy look is the best way that I can explain it. But still, like, they look tea dyed, still very pretty. Honestly, I was gonna coffee dye, but there's no need to coffee dye when you have the shades like that, right? So that's gonna be in like the mixed, I'm gonna call it mixed shade black bean dye, something like that. And of course, they're gonna come with these belly bands. So these are gonna be the belly bands for that. Somehow the cardstock took the color a lot better. But anyways, and then this is when it got to like that tan color. But they'll have those belly bands. The pinks. These were on white paper. So they have the markings and all that. But it's very, very pale. Almost just like a kiss. A kiss of pink, okay? On these, they have a little bit more like pinkish red. Just, it was only a few of them. So like these, this is where I mixed that, you can kind of tell, where I mixed the 1 dot of food coloring to it. And this is on white paper. So just imagine, it was like such a mild thing. Then the rest are avocado with onion skin and that mica spray. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this portion of it. I don't know if this can be seen on here. No, it's a little hard to tell with the lighting. You'd have to look really close, but they all have, right there you can see. It's hard, but they have a very slight shimmer. Look, there's another. These I think are going to be completely separate. I don't know. They're going to be a mixed shade bundle. I'm just letting you know. These are going to be mixed shade bundles. So that's that color. These came out almost lavender, and these are avocado dyed. So these also have just that little kiss of pink, but they look kind of lavender, and they are avocado dyed. They all have a little bit of shimmer, gold shimmer from the mica powder. Okay, like I said, these all look great in junk journals. Some sides are darker than others. I've ironed them all. I like the way this one looks a lot. It has a really cool effect, this one. You would think that I dyed it on gray paper and then it has like pops of pink, but no, it was white and cream paper, but these were the white ones. This is the batch where this is avocado, onion skin, and gold mica powder. As you can see, all of the, I love how these turned out. These are grungier. Okay, these are definitely grungier, but like I said, they look awesome in journals. So what I wanted to share, each side is going to look different. Nothing is going to be exactly the same. But what I wanted to say was I rubbed off all the excess of the gold. But like on these darker patches, for example, like if you rub it, you'd have to really rub it. You know, like if you ever rub your hand on like a little bit of eyeshadow, you get like a little bit of dust on your finger. It's kind of like that. So for that reason, I wanted to list these separate just in case there's anybody that's picky about that. But these are just like all different. They almost look coffee dyed to me because they have like a deeper brown. I don't see, even though it was an avocado dye, I don't see any avocado in here. I mean, this one maybe. And I think that was because I did actual gold mica powder. So you see the staining. Once again, very, look at a mild shimmer. Really, it's not a crazy thing. But lots of markings. Look at this one. This one is so cool. And these are the ones, oh, I might not include that because it's a little bit torn. I don't know. Let's see. I'll probably keep that for my own journal. Okay, so look at that one. Oh, I love it. Okay. I'm hearing something, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, that's really what I wanted to show because they're so different. I don't like to list anything that I don't really show what the quality is. You know, I want to make sure that everybody knows what they're getting. Okay, so the mica, the ones that have the actual mica powder, not the mica spray, but the mica powder ones are going to be listed separately. Also, what I want to offer in my shop is going to be, I'm going to have these. These are a little less than, these are not 4x6. They're bigger than 4x6. They're almost a 5x7, but slightly smaller. And they're going to be, I might have like a drop down menu. I'm thinking it's going to be like a pack of 12. I'm just going to put all my designs on there that I have of embossing folders at the moment. And so these are just watercolor, white watercolor papers that I'm going to offer embossed. So like a 12 pack, for example, will have 12 random designs. And they'll be listed in the pictures. I'm not sure yet. Some of the embossing folders are smaller, so you're going to have this space. Okay, this one is like that. This is that frame die. This is the polka dotted one. It has a little space here. And then I have two different kinds of these, what is this called? Damask designs. So one or the other would come in the pack. I have a strawberry one, and I have like three other, two floral ones and a butterfly one that's gorgeous. So that's going to be part of that. Okay. So let's put these here. I love these so much. So I have a huge bundle here of sari trim that I have dyed in avocado, but it always has this peachy tone that's just so pretty. I have to iron it, and I'm gonna show you. This is an example. You've seen it in my work. So usually when you see this color sari dye, it's the one that I hand dye, and then I just iron it and you get these results. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it because it looks so pretty. Another thing is I'm gonna have some cheesecloth, and these are gonna be in the fabric, whatever I have of the fabric. So the cheesecloth looks like this. Like this is what you can use it for. It's so great in clusters and in things like that. So it just adds texture to projects. So I just wanted to offer that with my fabrics. I wanted to include a piece of this vintage sheet fabric. I have more. I need to cut more of this. Okay. So it has the pink and it has those bows. I don't think I have any more dyed of this. So I'm not sure if I'm going to include this or not, but this is just a cotton fabric. And then this might just have a little teeny sample. These are the vintage ones. Just, that's all I have right now. That's all I have left. I think I have to see if I have more. So that just might be a little snip, or maybe I'll just include that in one pack. I don't know. Then you have like the non-vintage lace, and these didn't dye too well, but you can see that it does have some aging on it with the avocado. So I would include just pieces. I'm gonna see how I could divide it amongst the three. These are just good for layering. I have more of this ribbon I have to dye more. I have more of this velvet. I need to dye more of that. And then this is what I had. These are what I had left of what I dyed last year. So you'll get a few inches of each. Like I said, it'll work good for like a slow stitch project or for a journal or something of that sort. And these came out like peachy pink. And I think that's the effect of the red onion skin with the avocado. I love this lace. You've seen it in my Amity Bloom journals. Okay, and I have the scallop one. Love that. So I have a little extra of that. And then I have this one. I haven't used it on a project yet, but I have more of this that I can dye. So pretty. Just makes me think of a skirt. This would look so nice on a cover. So I'll have a few inches of that, and I have more of this crochet trim, but this is a pain to dye. Like, you have to dye it and then you have to really work at it to iron it out. But it dyes so beautifully. So some of that crochet lace will be in there. And I have plenty of this crochet trim. So this is not vintage either. I just dyed it. And this is with the recent batch. So it's still, because it was a cream color, it still has that peach look to it. So pink and peach. Okay, so I'm gonna have that in small bundles of fabric. And I decided to do it this way because last year when I made the bigger bundles of like the blue packs, I felt like the larger packs were a little overwhelming for some people. I think that so they were in the shop for a lot longer, and I think it was just too much, you know. So this time around, I would like to separate the fabrics instead of doing like big packs with fabric and paper. I'm just gonna keep papers separately. So the guest checks will have its own pack. The 8.5 by 11 papers are gonna be 15 in a pack, and then I'm gonna have small fabric bundles. Okay, so that's just gonna be with, you know, whatever I have here, and then anything that I have a lot more of, it'll have a, you know, a longer amount added to it. But like things that I have much less of, you only get a couple of inches. It'll be just enough to work on a project, but yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. I think that's what I have. I have a few frames. So there'll be a few of these listed. Like I said, either individually or in packs of 2. But it'll always be like a larger and a smaller. The square is the largest that I have right now. So let me know what you guys think. And I'm sorry for the long chatty video, but I just wanted to explain what was coming. And yes, and I will eventually have that journal finished. Once I have it finished, I'll do a flip through and list that as well. Questions, comments. Also, if you, let's say I put a listing up on Etsy and you need a bigger pack of paper, or you want to request, you know, your own custom pack of, you know, assorted dyed papers, because I'm also going to do coffee dye. That's another one. Or a journal, whatever. You can always reach out to me. Instagram is the best way. So Gingy's Journey. Instagram has Shop Gingy's Journey. I have not been able to get onto that for a long time. I have to figure that out. So it's not Shop Gingy's Journey. You want to go to just Gingy's Journey. The same YouTube handle I have here is what I have on Instagram. And then my Etsy shop is etsy.com/shop/Gingy's Journey. Okay. But I always let you guys know, give you an update when things are listed. So you can always, like I said, reach out to me via Messenger on Instagram or gingysjourney@gmail.com. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good weekend. Talk to you soon.